Hi, my name is Kenziie and welcome back to my channel. This is my fiance Jamar, and we're going to be explaining what we did in the month of December, January, and February. I know I didn't post anything, but those months were really busy for us, and we actually had no idea what we were doing until we decided to get a wedding planner. I would recommend, if you're having a big party, like over 150 people, to get a wedding planner because they know a lot of ins and outs that you don't know, and they can help you organize everything.
Yeah, help you organize a lot.
So the first thing we had to do was put together our guest list. And this was really hard because we wanted to keep our range around 160. And when you're doing a guest list, you have to not think, you can't just think about who you want to invite. You have to think about who they want to invite as well.
The thing about the guest list is that you kind of really need to write down who you want, like, on paper. I think that, like, makes it a lot easier, but ask your parents like who they want to invite, because really your parents are going to invite most of the people, and you don't want to miss out on anybody. But they also charge you at whatever venue. They're going to charge you for how many guests you have. So if you're trying to stay in a certain price range, you probably want to get the most important amount of people there without trying to go over your price range.
So the next thing we did after putting our guest list together was I went and picked out my dress. When you're picking out your dress, know where you're shopping. I went to 3 different places to find my dress, and ended up happening to be the first dress I tried on was the dress that I picked. But after I went to one boutique, I went to another place, and it was almost like, it was like used dresses that you could repurchase, and they were a little pricey. They were about the same price as the dress that I bought. And so just know where you're going when you're picking out dresses, and try more than one place. And you need to try on a lot of dresses because you need to absolutely love what you're wearing. Next, we picked a venue, and this was not easy. At first, we were just gonna find one online like I did in the previous episodes, and we were just gonna go with it because I liked the pictures. And then I ended up going there, and I actually looked at the place twice, once by myself and then once with Jamar, and ended up realizing that's not the place that I wanted. It wasn't something that suited both of us.
Yeah, so picking a venue was just really, really difficult because we thought we loved this one place. We always wanted to kind of do our wedding on like the beach and, you know, the sunset in the back, and I think we've kind of talked about that like the past couple years. But what we realized is we really don't want it on the beach, and how difficult it is to actually have a huge wedding on the beach. So, well, not even huge, I guess you could say.
And if you want your hair straight, it's gonna get all messed up. I got my hair done, and I went out to the ocean, and I didn't go in the ocean, went out to the beach, and my hair went straight back curly, or my hair went right back curly, straight back curly. That sounds funny.
Yeah, so, you know, we have a nice sized wedding, so just having it on the beach, we realized that'd be too much work. So we drove up and down San Diego just looking for venues, and
our wedding planner helped out a lot too.
Yeah.
She knew all the ins and outs of each venue.
Yeah, so that made it really good. We kind of like packed in venue searching within like 2 days, and we found like the place that we really, really wanted. Kind of like, I guess, our dream place, and a lot of people, a lot of famous people, I guess, kind of do their weddings there. But they wanted way too much money, and they're like, well, get your list down to 140 people. And we were like, okay, we can do it. But then we got it down to 140, but then we added plus ones, and then we got right back to where we were. And it was just way too difficult. So we went with our second choice, which is in downtown San Diego, which we also love. We actually loved this place before we seen the other place. So it all ended up working out, but it was really, really hard. But I mean, thank you to Victoria, our wedding planner, because she had a list of places that we just checked out. We knocked it out. We handled business, and we found our place, because without her, me and Kenzie would have searched on the internet, and we would have went by ourselves, and it would have been just a disaster. Disaster.
Yeah, so, and then our wedding planner helped us with decor and flowers and like seating arrangements. And
it was all boring. All boring.
Boring to him. But we didn't realize.
Nothing the guy should be doing.
We didn't realize what you had to do. Like, you have to pick linens you want on the table, and you have to pick the way you want your napkin folded, and what you want your plates to sit on. Your plates sit on plates, and just how you want your flowers to look. It was a lot more than I thought. So she kind of helped me get a visual on what we wanted our wedding to look like. Oh, by the way, our wedding, we chose to go at the U.S. grant, and I'll put in a picture so you can see what it looks like, but it's beautiful and we're pretty excited.
Guys, if you have to sit there for the decor meeting and the flowers and stuff, bring your laptop, bring a book, probably bring a Game Boy, just anything, because it's really boring. We really have nothing to do with it. At this point, it's all about us just showing up.
And then after that, we picked a DJ. Well, actually, our wedding planner recommended one, and he seems pretty great. We met with him, and he's not too like MC DJ where he's on the mic 24/7. He plays the music, has a good flow, and his job is to get people dancing. So we really liked him. So we're gonna go do our playlist next whenever we go back out there for the tasting and all that other stuff.
Like this DJ that we have now, he's gonna have a playlist for dinner, a playlist for the cocktail hour, a playlist for the after party, after the reception. So everybody's gonna hear their music from, the early like 60s, 70s, to the 80s, 90s, and then we'll get into, the more of like the new music now. We'll get into that like later on in the night. Yeah, once the drinks kind of start flowing.
Yeah. So I kind of already talked about it, but I met with the lady who is going to do my makeup, and she did a test run, and I showed her my dress, and she picked colors to, match my whole outfit. So that turned out really nice. And then I'm going to have my hairdresser from home kind of do my hair. And we've been looking at pictures, and we're going to do a trial run. And I would do that before the wedding so you're not just winging it. Or if you do your own hair and makeup, then I would just practice.
If you do your own hair and makeup, it saves you a lot of money too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. So it just depends on what your budget is, for real.
Yeah. So after we picked out all that stuff and we saw the venue and all that stuff, we had to get a website ready so people could RSVP and they could see different hotels that are around our hotel in case they didn't want to stay at the actual location. And we actually put different tabs in there so kids... And we put a tab in there called childcare tab so that our friends' children could have a place to go and eat and play while the adults are drinking and dancing and having fun. So our wedding planner kind of got that all set up, and then I went in and I wrote the proposal and how we met and kind of just decorated it and stuff, so it looked really nice and it was easy to navigate.
And she did a great job. Great job.
Thank you.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so then the next decision was, do we want our save the dates to go out on paper or like a card, or do we want it to be electronic through email? And we decided to go through email to save us some money, but I mean, there's pros and cons to each way. Email, some of the older generation doesn't have an email, or they don't know how to work the email, or they don't like RSVPing online. So that was kind of the cons to that. And then the paper cons are people don't typically send back their RSVPs. So we just decided to go the cheaper route on that.
Yeah, I mean, really, if I had to say anything about it, email was clutch for our generation. But for our parents' generation and our grandparents' generations, it kind of made it a little rougher because people will email it. We'll send out the link and they'll email us back like, okay, me plus two. It's like, no, click the link and just go to the RSVP tab. It's very easy. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people didn't get it. And we kind of put them on a short window too, just so we kind of see who's coming now. But I mean, email was the way to go if you're just thinking about, how many people you're going to have around your age, because a lot of our friends got it done quick, and that really helped us out, kind of helping our numbers out, and okay, who we have to cut out, who are we keeping.
And it kind of forced us to call people to make sure that they were coming, so people aren't just RSVPing, because you're paying per plate, so you want to know who's coming to the wedding and stuff like that. And
like she said, if you send out the RSVPs or the save the dates in the mail, usually people don't get those, or if they do get them, some people don't open their mail for a week. Like me, I never open the mail. It kind of just sits
and our
there.
generation doesn't like to send mail back, so it's kind of
yeah. So you know, nobody likes to go to the post office. Everybody's kind of too busy these days. So email really worked, and we still made it real nice and pretty and stuff like that. And you know, it takes you right to the website. The website's really dope. So like she said, there's pros and cons to it, but it saved us like an extra like $200 or something like that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have formal invitations after all the RSVPs are locked, so those will be coming out after that. And finally, we're gonna just touch on bridesmaid dresses and bridesmaid suits and groomsmen suits. Picking out a bridesmaid dress has been a really tough task for me. We're still doing it right now because my colors are blush and gray, and for some reason finding a gray bridesmaid dress that is my style and what I want it to look like is really hard. And you have to remember that it has to be in your bridesmaid's price range because your bridesmaids typically buy their dresses. So it's been kind of difficult finding a dress in the right price range and then also one that looks really nice. And then one of my bridesmaids is going to be wearing a suit, so that's another task in itself that I need to start getting on soon.
Yeah, and for the grooms, man, I mean, for me, it just kind of, it kind of all went with style. We could have went with the regular, like, black and white look with the bow tie, or the big tie look with the vest, you know, kind of like that prom-ish look. But really, all my grooms, man, they kind of agreed with whatever look I wanted to go with. Luckily, most of us are from San Diego, except one. So it worked out perfect. You know, we're in San Diego or California, we're known being like more laid back. So, you know, we got like really nice tuxedos. They'll be wearing like a gray. Me and my father, we actually thought about me coming out with like a steel blue. Something like that, like a solid like blue. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and it'll complement my dress even though he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
I saw that picture of the color of that suit.
Yeah, it should look really good. So they'll all look alike, and then we're going with like a skinny tie look and some Chuck Taylors. And I think that'll be dope as well, kind of getting off that kind of Cali vibe. But, you know, everybody will be somewhat different. They'll be wearing their gray, so they'll stick with like the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, where they'll kind of be alike, and then me and Kenziie will pop out because we're wearing different colors than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it was easy. Just, they were like, you know, for a guy, if you're watching this, ask your fellas what they want to do. Usually it's easy. They'll send you over the measurements, get it done, and you're done like that. So it's real quick for guys.
That's easy. Girls, we have hips and boobs and stomachs and lack of stomach and all that stuff. So you have to get measurements and stuff like that. Not every dress fits every woman the same. So that will be a task, but you'll get it done. You just got to keep searching.
And then, like, I don't know. I know we're not buying our suits. Like, we don't want to buy. Because only person that'll probably end up wearing a suit again is me. Our wedding is at, you know, the beginning of the summer, so they're going to get summer ready, and then I get their measurements, and then I get the suits, because you don't want nobody's suit to be baggy or loose, you know, and we want to be able to make any alterations we can, but not big alterations.
Yeah, and I would say for women, get your dresses 2 to 3 months before the wedding, so you have time to get your dress fitted the way it needs to fit your body. So that's pretty much what we've been doing these last 3 months. We've been pretty busy. Next we have the tasting, as I mentioned earlier. We have to meet with our DJ for the playlist, and I have a few alterations coming up in, what is it? April and June. And what else do we have to do? I think I picked out my shoes already. The bridesmaids are gonna have to pick out their shoes after we pick out the dress. So that's what's kind of coming up next. I'll do a video next month. I know I neglected this series for like 3 months, but I think we got a good amount of stuff done.
Yeah, I agree.
So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.
I need you, baby, if it's quiet.